We are 25 days away from the spring equinox. Yeah, 25 days away. I love it this time of year when we really actually start to notice that the days are longer. There's more daylight earlier, there's more daylight later. I'm especially fond of that feeling of getting in the car after it's been sitting in the sunny spot all afternoon. And it's not nearly as frigid in there as it would have been a month ago. It just feels so good. Winter will not last forever, right? We're making it through. And I think we need reminders of this from time to time. I mean, not just that winter itself is passing and we're moving through it, but that we're also moving through our wintry seasons of life as well. And I wonder if the early church, which was no stranger to wintry seasons of life, told today's story of Christ's transfiguration on the mountain as a reminder to them that they too would make it through these difficult moments that they were experiencing as they were following in this new way of Jesus in their world. Because as much as they were part of this new exciting movement, this communal embodiment of God's love that was bringing life to the world in new ways, they were also continuing to experience quite a bit of resistance to this movement of which they were part that led to many a struggle and much suffering and even death in a lot of cases for some of those early saints. For their journey with Jesus meant challenging some things of the world, challenging things that were full of sin and death. It challenged notions like who deserves to be healed and embraced and cared for in our world. And it meant challenging notions like some of those false myths of the culture they were in, like Roman imperialism above all else, and the false myth of the redemptive violence that came along with that imperialism. Not to mention also that economic exploitation of people's lives for the sake of the richness of just a few. It meant pressing on systems that did not want to be pressed on, and so as they moved forward in their faith, it was not easy. It was not easy. And it seems that this transfiguration story then was a way for these Christ followers to be re-rooted in their faith, to be re-energized in their faith, and to look back at that great history of God's saving action in the past that inspired the Jesus movement in the first place, even when death and destruction seemed to be the forces that ruled the day. And when we hear this gospel story that mentions Moses there with Jesus up on the mountainside where God's presence is being made known, it would have not only been a reminder of God's work in Moses' life in the past, God's liberation from the people from Egyptian slavery, but it also would have reminded them that as much as Moses was a part of that, Moses still didn't see the end of it. He didn't make it to the promised land. He had to pass the baton, let someone else take the lead for a while. And similarly, when the gospel mentions Elijah there on the mountaintop with them, with Jesus, with Moses, it similarly would have been a reminder that as much as Elijah was part of boldly enacting God's prophetic work in the world, healing, wholeness, God's presence coming through in the work he did, Elijah also did not see all that through to completion in the new reign of God for the people in his day. And so I think the story then functions similarly for us too in our day now. And we in our lives, we know of God's reign. We have experienced God's presence with us in varying ways, God's healing, God's wholeness, God's presence with us, God's right-making in us and in the world around us. But we also have not yet seen it through to its fullness, to its completion, to that great eternal reign of God that is still emerging among us. And so perhaps it's appropriate That we, like those early followers of Jesus, are also recipients of this mountaintop moment story that connects this circle of God's coming reign with the way God has brought this reign in the past. That just as God has led the way through death before, God will do it again as we look ahead, especially toward the opening door of Lent this week, and all that this new season will have for us. Penitence and renewal that leads to new life eventually. So as we stand now on the precipice of these seasons, looking ahead to what is yet to come, and the life that God will call forth in the world, as difficult and challenging sometimes as that work and life can be, perhaps our job is simply to heed the proclamation of that voice that shows up in the cloud with fire, with authority, saying that this is God's Son who leads the way. And this is God's way that we walk in together with Christ. And that through it all, God will lead through thick and thin, good times and difficult, up the mountain and back down again. Transfiguration blessings to you today, dear church. May you know God's presence with you along the way that is to come. Amen.